It's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. And yes, we're back again with another time, and I'm glad that you all enjoyed our last week's interview with Michael G. and Frito. And today, we are going to be talking about all things Outlander, and about an amazing gathering that's going to be happening. And we might be getting some sneak peeks in with people like Diana Gabaldon might be jumping in, and who knows. And with me is my incredible co-host, Olaf. Hey, Olaf.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good. Feeling like it's so that I'm 50,000 years old.
Yes, it's like I just love doing these shows and trying to work out all the technical stuff, and it just never works. But hey, we still get it done though, don't we?
We do, and at the end of the day, everybody loves us. And with us
That's
tonight,
right.
we have also as well. It's like, and you've been doing well, and it's like, of course, your shows have been like doing amazing.
Oh yeah, everything's going good. It's like getting ready for the end of this month. I'll be in Chicago for a few days for another Walker Stalker Con, and be seeing which actors I can tackle and make them talk to me and stuff. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun to have that aboard. It's like I cannot wait, and it's like you're also another one of our fans of Outlander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I get to. It's like I don't get to watch it as often as I like to, but I try to catch up on it when I can.
And tonight we have also two wonderful guests with us, Debbie Hill and Debbie Hall. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
So, Debbie Hill, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got involved with this? What was your fandom of Outlander?
It started in 1991, actually. I traveled out west with a friend, and we were both book readers, and she said, I've got this fantastic book you've got to read. It just came out. And she introduced me to Outlander, and as Diana published more and more, I kept reading and writing. And then when the rumors started coming, a TV show was coming, the many years of anticipation and wanting to see it actually on screen finally came to fruition. And so Starz and Sony have put it on the screen for us, and on the small screen, so that they're with us in our living room every single week. We just love it.
Awesome. And Debbie Hall, how did you end up getting involved with this?
I met the group of the girls at a gathering this past summer, and they were very gracious and friendly. I became friends with them on Facebook through a group of Outlander fans, and found out that Debbie Jo was planning this gathering, and quickly volunteered my time, and here I am. So I've been a fan since 1998. Have read the books numerous times. I'm reading along as I'm watching the TV series, and that is fun because my husband's become an Outlander fan and he's not read the books. So I kind of give him little tidbits from the book as well as the TV show to keep him in the loop and give him the long version.
So it's like you've enjoyed it. You've both enjoyed it for a long period of time, and it's like with me, I got introduced to it a long time ago. I was reluctant towards the book. Then I read this book called Into the Blue, and I was like, "Hold on a second, that sounds a lot like Diana Gabaldon's books." And I was like, "Well, let's give it a whirl and see what that feels like." Well, then I became hooked on books, and now I don't want her to stop writing books.
I know.
No, I'm an avid reader. I don't go anywhere without I don't buy a purse that doesn't hold a book in it. So it's always with me constantly. So I tend to drift back. I'll read one or two books of someone else's, and then I'm always right back reading the next volume over and over again. I can't even tell you how many times I've read the books. It's been too numerous to count.
I have a few books, and most of my books are like leveling up a table or a chair or something like that. I wait for the movie version or the TV series. I don't
We're
read
going to
the
have
books.
to send you an audio book.
Oh, well, there you go. Audiobooks, I could probably do that. It's like the reading. I'm like when I start reading, and I'm like going, So I just, they're propping a lot of tables and chairs up. So.
Yeah, and it's like what I love is about the fact is like that she's so true to both past and present, and it's like, I loved that little prologue that she talked about the fact that it's like Claire cannot be written as anything but modern day character. It's like I love that she speaks like as though that we speak, and it's like finds it very hard to assimilate at first in towards the past language as well.
Yeah, I don't think Diane is ever going to truly write out that modern woman, that 28th century woman out of her. I think that's always going to be the little tidbit of time travel is always going to follow Claire everywhere she goes. She will constantly be a woman of the 20th century. I mean, she's a chameleon, she adapts, but it's always in the back. It's her core, her self-righteousness, her commitment to honesty and to what is right is deep inside her and can't be changed.
Yeah, I just got to the A Breath of Snow and Ashes the first time that she's actually gotten seriously ill and they shaved her head.
Yes.
And her reaction, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I have to also give a shout out as well to the one who reads her audiobooks. It's like she does a fantastic job with reading her audiobooks as well.
I actually
Davina Porter.
purchased. Yes, I actually just purchased my first audiobook. Don't tell my boss, but I sit with it. I think they think I'm listening to music, but I'm actually listening to Outlander. And
like most government jobs.
So, well, now it's like Debbie. Let me.
I'm retiring.
Let me ask you this: the difference. In other words, okay, you're an avid, in other words, book reader, and you've read, you've read all the Outlander books, and now you have one on the audio. How does it compare, in other words, as far as how you feel like, in other words, listening to the book versus reading one?
I think I hesitated on getting the audiobook because I really wasn't sure. When you read a book, you create your own tone to it. Mm-hmm. You create your own accents, your own flavor, your own inflection. And I quite like her. I find her voice soothing, so I find it very easy to listen to. Okay. I think the bigger shock actually was going from my visual or what I conceived Claire and Jamie and all the other characters to look like, and then Ron's casting on screen. I think that was much harder to adapt to than actually the difference between the book in print and the audiobook.
Okay. So in other words, for somebody like me who's not an actual reader, do you think they would get the same experience, with the audiobook, or if you listen to enough of it that they would get the same kind of nuances and stuff that you would get from actually reading the book?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I believe you'll enjoy them and get hooked just as easily as if you were to read it in print.
I was hoping to.
Sorry, Deb.
I was hoping to purchase them and think that my husband would listen to it on the drive to and from work and on our long drives on vacation instead of having the radio on. I think that he might get something out of it because the TV series, as fabulous as it is, you don't get as in-depth, obviously, as what Diana's novels are. And I think you miss out an awful lot on everything. I think the character development, the plot development, and just the feeling in general. And I think it brings more pleasure if you know the story and are watching the TV series. Not to discount that the TV series alone isn't great, because I have friends who were watching who've never read, and they're absolutely loving it and are just as keen and eager, and they are not even interested in picking up the book. They're just perfectly fine with watching the series. So I'm hoping to do that.
So that's kind of like, there's another show that I do, and there's, books, and there's not the graphic novels and comics and stuff on the particular series that I'm watching. And it's like, but when I do the show, I come to the show with just the TV series part of it, not the written word, just the TV series. So that gives you get a different perspective on what it is, because in the books, probably same thing with Outlander. In other words, there's things that happen in there. They're like that if they were following the Outlander book series on the TV series, there'd be scenes that they would describe in the book that they might not see in the TV series because it'd be too costly to do it, or whatever. They just kind of don't do the same thing. So the book gives you a little bit, like you say, more in depth. And like I said, not discounting anything from the book or the TV series. They're both going to be great, but you get just a little more juiciness sometimes in the book than you do in the TV series.
Did anybody feel that they had a Twilight moment when they started talking about the casting for the TV series, going, "Oh no, not that person is that person"?
Yeah, they overlooked me, so I'm like, I just,
Well, you know what?
Weird.
You have not been introduced as a character quite yet.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
There's lots to come. I won't give any spoilers, but there's lots to come.
There's a few reverend parts that are still up for grabs.
Okay, maybe they're holding out for me for one of those. Okay.
I have to say, I'm sure every book reader creates their perfect character, especially if they're passionate about that particular character, as I think probably every person that reads Outlander becomes very passionate about Claire and Jamie, and they create a vision of what their Claire and their Jamie look like in their head. And when the casting got announced, I wasn't that adept at social media, and I didn't see any of the pictures of who they had anticipated on casting. And so my first introduction to the visual was the cover of the new edition of Outlander. And it was a picture of Katrina Balfe and Sam Heughan. And I looked at it and went, wow, that's not my Jamie. I totally changed my mind. Sam has absolutely personified Jamie for me. But I had to adapt. I had to take my vision and replace it visually with Ron's vision of what it was. And it's seamless, and I can't imagine anyone else being cast. As far as casting goes, I think they've been spot on with everybody, from the lead characters to the what they call secondary or supporting roles. Kudos to that crew. They've really worked hard, and if Diana doesn't get upset and she thinks that they're perfect, who am I to say?
It was her
vision. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Grayson. I found it very difficult to take the character that I had in my head and the vision and the appearance and the tone of their voice and their accent and everything. I found it very difficult to take that vision and meld it together with the characters that were chosen by Ron Moore. But with that being said, instantly in watching the series, my vision disappeared and they became the characters. But funny enough, when I go back and I read them, in my mind, they're still the original people that I've envisioned.
You're back. Your ghosts come back.
Yeah, it's really weird. And it's not Sam and Kate that I see in my mind. I've actually, and I told this to other people, in my head, Claire always looked like Diana. I always believed that, when people write, they write about themselves a little bit. And she seemed to have described herself when she first started writing. So in my head, Claire looked like Diana.
Interesting.
So I don't know how other people felt, but in my head, she always looked like her.
Let's talk about our baddies.
So in other words, when you envision one of the one of the guys on the show, and you have this vision in your head, and you hear him, and your vision is he talks like this, and it's like nice
yes
tones and everything, and then they cast somebody, and they're like, "Yo, dude, what's up? How's it going?" You're kind of disappointed. You're like, "Hi."
Yeah.
Like, I will kill you now. Ah.
Oh, thank goodness they haven't quite done that. My Jamie did have much longer hair, though. Poor Sam.
I'm sure that the hair
a while to grow.
I'm sure the hair extensions will happen very shortly. I'm sure that the hair and makeup people are going, okay, extensions of the day, can we find those?
See, I grew up with a Scottish grandfather, and my namesake was born in Wick, which is way up in the Highlands. So the brogue and the accent, that was my grandmother. I have a friend who sits and watches the TV show with me, and she keeps saying, "What did he say?" She just can't get the accent. The brogue is so heavy. But to me, it's my childhood. I just hear my grandmother again. So
and Kate is able to cover her Irish very well. Yes,
she does. She does. I've actually never heard her with an Irish. It's always been that she's so articulate that
Now, I have to ask all of you, baddie people, between Captain Jack Randall and Comte de Germain, which one is your favorite? And tell me your favorite baddie.
You know what?
I really hate both of them equally. Sorry, Deb.
I think, though, right off the cuff, I think Tobias has really pulled in a following that makes the character on television seem less nasty than the character that we read about in the novel. He seems likable as opposed to that really nasty, creepy guy that you can't wait to hear about his demise or his permanent demise. So the television series has really changed him from being a really crazy bad guy to me, and I really haven't gotten to know the Comte yet. To speak on that. So
see, it's like they're bad in their two different ways. Olaf, have you seen either one? Or read it?
I'm for both the bad guys. Whoever the bad guy is, it's like, I like them both. It's like the badder they are, the better they are. So I root for the bad guys.
Yeah, it's like where Jack Randall is like very much. It's like it took a while for me to reconcile that whole with the TV series, the whole Frank and Jack Randall thing, because it's like it just kept me making me want to hate him in present day. Just as bad as hating him then, but it's like then also with the novels and everything, the way that they humanize Jack Randall, it's like towards the end, it's especially in the second book when they're dealing with his brother, it's like, oh, all of a sudden we have a person who is somewhat humanized and kind of in that crossroads, are you really a baddie? Where with the Comte Saint-Germain, it's like it's a straightforward. It's like you are just the biggest jackass I've ever seen. It's like where is your redeeming quality? It's like you practically attack her in the back.
Well, if he can crack a smile, I don't think he definitely has that scowl down pat.
Yeah.
He's very intimidating. He's
like one of those charming rogues. Like that, but it's like you just know that he's like evil to the core.
Charm yet. Where's the charm? Not even with his wife at the dinner in the last episode.
But I mean, like even it's like if you want to humanize him, it's because it's like okay, he lost a big part of his business. And it's like, yeah, you can be angry, but it's kind of like it reminds me of my 14-year-old when he gets angry. You know how he throws temper tantrums all over the map, kind of thing. It's like that's not fair. Why did we have to burn the ship?
Well, there's one of the differences between the show and the book, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there's some details in the book that also intensify his macabre side that makes you dislike him even more. I'm not sure if they're going to bring that part in or not.
Who knows?
I'm trying to be cautious because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I hate someone that tells you the end of the movie. So but there's more development with the comp that I think your hatred will intensify.
Also, if you want to know about it, Yahoo had an amazing article on the interviewing the actor who plays the Comte Saint-Germain, and they really had a nice detailed article on him just recently. That actor as well. And
yes, he's. I think to the North American audience. He's not as well, none of them are actually. The only two gentlemen that were familiar to a North American audience were Graham McTavish for his huge role in The Hobbit, and as Dalwyn the dwarf, and some people have seen Gary Lewis in a few in Canada in particular because we have a CBC channel. Gary Lewis has done many works on CBC, so his face was a little bit more familiar too. But the rest of it for North America is really an obscure cast. Not very many people were known to this audience. And we've introduced a whole new world, just not to get off the track, just like Game of Thrones introduced a whole new cast and different British UK actors to North America, and they've quickly become near and dear to our hearts.
Absolutely, and it's like Tobias makes an awesome bad guy.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he most certainly does. He's probably, in my mind, he's so gifted, it's actually overwhelming.
So tell me, what are you kind of hoping that's going to happen in regards to the Outlander world? That if we could tell Diana right now, it's like, okay, book number 9, it's like, where do we want to go?
Well, she's not allowed to stop writing.
Okay.
Because I don't know what I'll do if I don't have a Diana Gabaldon book to read. And that includes her little novellas, Lord John, which happens to be one of my favorite characters in the book, in her world. But other than that, please don't end it too soon. That's all.
It'll be interesting also to see Lord John Grey, where he goes, and also it'll be interesting to see the casting for Ian.
Yes, I'm quite anticipating. Ian's a very near and dear character. Young Ian is a very near and dear character, I think, in everybody's hearts. He goes through such transformations. That is going to be a toughie, I think.
See, where Jocasta is going to be easy. It's like, to me, I would say Maggie Smith right away, just hook her in for Jocasta. She would be like the perfect Jocasta Cameron.
I actually think she's too frail. I think they need quite a strong presence.
Hey, if she can be with Harry Potter,
yeah, it's just her physical features are very delicate for me. I think of Jocasta as more a stronger bone structured person, but that, you see, once again, we're into the visual. Everybody's vision is different, right?
Right.
Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. This is our own little fantasy world.
Right.
So
yeah, Ian's going to be hard, though.
He is going to be,
and he's plays a very important part through many of the novels. So, I've heard many times people asking both Sam and Katrina, did you realize what you were in for when you signed on? Because it really has taken over their life.
Well, and it's like they also do some wonderful publicity events. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is the fact that it's like there is also a huge fan base for Outlander. So, being that it's such a huge fan base, it's like I'm sure fans love to get together and stuff for that.
I myself have been to 2 gatherings, and I just came back from Tartan Parade, where Outlander fans had a very large presence in the parade. My first experience with other Outlander fans was back in May of 2015. I had already planned a trip to Scotland in the fall. And when I heard that there was going to be an Outlander gathering in Crieff, Scotland, put on by the UK girls, I thought, I can't miss this. And I am so glad I didn't. It was absolutely a life-changing event. It's almost like a fraternity now. I've made such dear friends through Outlander all over the world. I was able to meet up with the girls again in New York. We once again, Debbie and I met through a gathering in Quebec City. And that's what we're hoping. And that's when I came home on the plane from Scotland, I was so overwhelmed and so taken by the warmth and the feeling I had at the gathering that I just knew I had to do this for the Canadian girls and for those that in North America that were close enough to come to us. And that's where Outlandish Canada Gathering Perth 2016 started. It was a plane ride over the ocean, going home, not wanting it to end, so thinking that we would continue next year. And that's where we're at now. All the venues are booked. Special guests have been booked. We are privileged to have Grant O'Rourke and Stephen Walters commit to coming, who are Rupert and Angus, for those that aren't that familiar with the show or just coming on board. We also have Claire Mackay coming. She is the herbalist consultant that Ron Moore asked to participate and be a consultant on the show. We're so excited she's coming. All our events are all Outlander influenced, and I think it's going to be a really exciting time.
It will be an exciting time. So tell us, what does a gathering look like? For all of the people who haven't been at a gathering, I know that with the cons that they're really, really cool. It's like that you get a variety of events. But what does a gathering look like to us?
Well, truthfully, I've only been to one Comic-Con myself. I went last year to Montreal. And to me, the Comic-Con is a little more sterile in that it's a one-day event. You go in, it's extremely crowded. You wait in lines. To do your autographs and your interviews and things. Whereas a gathering is like a homecoming. It's almost like a high school reunion, where you get together and first night is saying hello to old friends and making new friends and just generally getting used to each other. And then usually there's, depending on the length or the type of gathering, the next day is filled with all Outlander type events. In our case, we'll be having workshops with Claire Mackay. We'll be having a Q&A with Stephen and Grant. We have a wonderful venue called Code Mills that looks very much like Castle Leoch inside. We will be having a formal dinner and music so that we can dance a ceilidh. I don't know if you've ever danced a ceilidh, but you've never lived until you try one. It's full of laughs and stumbles and giggles and making a fool of yourself, and so much fun. And we're hoping that we dance until the hairy coos come home, if you know what a hairy coo is.
Very cool. Yes.
In our particular event, the next day, the town that we are hosting this in is Perth, Ontario. It is their 200th anniversary, and we have been privileged to be accepted as one of their sanctioned 200 events in 2000th anniversary celebrations. And to give back, we will be hosting a 18th century market in the morning in a historic park called Last Duel Park, which is where the last duel, there was a fatality at the duel in Canada. And then the afternoon will be a Highlander camp. There are many battalions across northeastern Canada that do reenactments. They do you Americans, they do the Battle of 1812 and the skirmish across the Canadian-American border, but they also dedicate themselves to the Highland battles, and in particular the Battle of Culloden. And this year is the 270th anniversary of the Battle of Culloden, and there are 8 battalions across Eastern Ontario and Northern New York. And we were lucky enough to have a camp come to us, and they are going to demonstrate the Highland way of life, how they cooked, how they lived, and how they prepared themselves for the battle. Unfortunately, we won't be having a battle because there is only one Redcoat regiment, and they were already booked. You can't really have a fight without the other side. But we will have, and there is only one Bonnie Prince Charlie, and he will be attending with his entourage. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Sounds like fun.
So it sounds like it's going to be excited.
Yeah, I feel that we've really concentrated on Outlander themed events, and I feel that everybody will definitely enjoy themselves and make a lot of new friends. This is a beautiful little town in Eastern Ontario, and for anybody who has not come to my part of the world, this is a perfect time to come and see what we're all about. After the Battle of Culloden, there was a clearing, and they pretty much got rid of the Highland way of life. And a lot of them came to both North America, both Canada and the United States. And this little town was actually built by Scottish immigrants as a little piece of home. So it is exactly like you've been plunked into Perth, Scotland. If you've never been there, you most certainly just come see us. It's a cheaper trip than over the pond.
Well, I've been in that area before, but I was 8, so it's been a little while. You know,
I think it's time to come back, Olaf.
It's been a couple of years. In other words, I said I was 8 or 9 the last time I was there. It's like, you know, I'm 10 now, so it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, I think you need to come back and visit us. We're only 45 minutes from the nation's capital. There's tons to see in Ottawa. It's a really good chance beginning to have a family or a vacation and come see the nation's capital. Enjoy 3 days with some like-minded people.
Yeah.
Have fun, have laughs, cry.
True.
Believe it or not, when the girls left from Crete, those of us still there actually stood on the sidewalk with tears in our eyes. Like, the bond was absolutely unbelievable. I never thought I'd get that emotional over people that 3 days earlier had been perfect strangers.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite something. And I think that's the difference between a gathering and a Comic-Con is the Comic-Con is much faster venue. Mm-hmm. There's not that bond there. I mean, you probably go with your friends. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I've only been to one, so I can't say.
Like I've gone to several cons, and usually it's kind of like the same thing as what you were describing. Usually they're like 2-day cons, and sometimes they're 3, but generally, you know, I get there, and by the time I leave, you know, I've met so many people and made like a bunch of new friends, and it's like, oh man, I gotta go now. Yeah. So
yeah.
No, you kind of don't want it to end.
So
and that's what makes it kind of exciting is like the event itself. And it's like, I know that you're saying that you're almost sold out on that event as well. So hopefully you'll have enough people that are finishing off. And then that way it's like there'll be more than enough because it's like venues are getting larger and larger with it.
Well, if you want a spot, you need to hurry.
Yeah, it's like you definitely want...
That's all I can say.
Yeah, you definitely want to hurry on that because it's like you don't want to be the person who goes, damn, I could have gone there, but no, I didn't. There's also RV camps around there as well to be able to park RVs and stuff for people who are coming up that way.
Actually, I'll be staying in an RV in the Last Duel Park, but... Eastern Ontario is full of provincial parks and private parks, and there's many accommodations. This town has, I think it was 12 B&Bs, 7 motels, a huge Best Western, and there are 4 parks that I can think of. And on any given day, there's only 6,000 people in this town. So tourists definitely outnumber the residents of this town. So yes, there's lots and lots of accommodation.
Yeah, so there's plenty of places that you can come, so don't worry about that in regards to if that was one of the concerns for a lot of people, because some people they're like, well, I'm coming from the UK and all that. One thing that I can tell you about also Perth and cities like that holds gatherings, it's like, you know what, people there are just genuinely really super friendly when you get there.
Yeah, this town is unbelievable as far as opening up their arms to us. Even the mayor has gotten up at city council meetings and held up the Scottish Saltern flag and mentioned Outlander, and they are really happy to host us, and they're very proud to show off their town, and rightfully so. It's a really wonderful little place.
Yeah, it's like one of the other things that you want to look at also during the gathering is because you know what, you have to the actors that are coming in as well. It's you never know who's going to be popping in between. It's like you never know what's going to happen. It's like one of the exciting parts about it is that also it gives you a chance to have commonalities. And by the way, I expect lots of pictures of tartans. I want tons of tartan shots.
Lots of tartan?
Yeah.
Lots of
yeah,
tartan.
Show me your clan colors, people, when you're going there, because it's like there's no excuse for not showing me your clan colors.
Well, really what we're hoping, it's not an absolute must, but I know I will be wearing my 18th century Scottish attire. Back then, often the women wore a petticoat and then they wore something called an arisad over top. I have my Sutherland family tartan arisad ready to go, hanging and ready to be folded, and I also have a gown started for the Kaylee. So we just want you to come and have fun and make new friends and share in our commonality of Outlander, this wonderful world Diane created for all of us.
Yeah, so it's like at the event as well, it's like they're also going to be able to have the chance to meet the actors, sit down with them, just like it is over at a con, Olaf. It's like, remember with the last one where it's like they get a chance to do that as well. It's like one of the fun things that I found, that whether it be a Ren Fair, whether it be a con, whether it be a gathering, is the fact that it's like, you know what, the camaraderie amongst the people, and it's like the common knowledge of things. It's like, I bet that when Diana started this world, that I bet that she didn't believe that this was going to be the case. It's like that it would just grow to be this gigantically popular.
Outlander was... She just wanted to write a novel. She wanted to try. She wanted to practice. I don't think she ever realized it was going to become the phenomena it is. The one advantage about a gathering is usually they are smaller in number, so they're more personable. In our case, we have a total venue of 200. That is our maximum. Only because we want to keep it small and intimate. We want everyone, our price is all inclusive, unlike where sometimes you go and you pay your entrance fee and you pay another $20, $40 for your autograph and another one for your photo shoot. Ours is all inclusive in that when you come in, the Q&A is going to be moderated. We are going to ask for questions to be pre-submitted so that there is consistency and some order to the questioning. But afterwards, everything is definitely meet and greet and hands-on and rub shoulders and make jokes and laugh. And Stephen and Grant are also going to be attending the dinner. So there's other opportunities to get and meet them and talk with them. I personally have met Grant before. He's a very personable young man, and underneath that scruffy beard are these cute little dimples. And he's quite a charmer, and I'm sure all the ladies are going to, and gentlemen for that matter, are going to be quite charmed by him.
Olaf can be his brother.
Yes. Is there dimples under that beard?
Yeah, probably are. I think there are. I think there are some under there.
Yeah, he's a brother from another mother.
There you go.
Is he?
What? He does look a lot like him. See, I'm already casting you in some of these roles. It's like all we have to do is just get to we have to get to the producer people.
Well, you know, Olaf, I love Outlander, but I also happen to be a historical fiction lover, and they're doing a casting call right now for 8,000 Vikings. Maybe you need to head over to Ireland.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's like, wait a minute. You mentioned that. Hang on. Let's see if I can reach it.
Don't tell me you've got horns.
It's the full-on helmet.
Oh
Sweet.
There you go. Somehow I don't think they had shades in the 11th century, but
Well,
that's okay.
this is as close as I get to Viking. This is my shredder mask, but it's got the horns and stuff. So
yeah, that's wonderful.
yes, it's like, and Jet wins the prize for the night. He did guess right off the bat, shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most fabulous things so about it is it's like I'm kind of hoping that they might rile up a joust in there as well. So it's like you get an actual Scottish tournament.
Oh, well, we are trying to have it episode, I believe it's episode 4 of first season. At the end of the gathering, there's a game of shinty, which is in North America, it's very close to field hockey. In Ireland, it's called hurling. They do have intramural leagues between Scotland and Ireland, although the rules are a little slightly different. So we're hoping to have a shinty league come and play a game, because there's this fabulous park in Perth called Stewart Park. And
I didn't realize that hurling was a game. I mean, usually by the end of the night, you're hurling. I mean, I've been in some hurling contests before, and I didn't like it. It wasn't no fun. Oh, not that kind of hurling. I'm sorry.
Not that kind of
hurling. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you gotta drink good scotch and then you don't hurl.
So do you plan on having some good scotch there at the event?
Well, I'll tell you. I retire in 20 days, and I brought back with me from Scotland a bottle of Old Colby 21.
Did you bring you back a wee?
I have that much
Did you
left.
bring you a wee bit of scotch back from Scotland?
I bought a wee bit back, a bottle of 21. It's very good, and I only have a finger size left, so I'm saving it for my retirement. I'll just have to go back and get some more.
Go. Yeah, it's like
good reason to go back to Scotland.
Yeah, well, then now you're going to have to bring some for us, and it's like have it joined. Yeah, I know, right?
Yes. Well, actually, I actually have plans to move there. So you'll have to come visit me, and we'll have a wee dram, and I'll show you the country, my new adopted country. I'm going to alternate back and forth in my retirement. So
there you go.
Ooh, we have somebody who's jumping in. Louise St. Armor, how are you?
Hi, Louise. This is another one of the ladies that's helping me. I have a fabulous team.
Hey, Louise.
You've met Debbie Hall. Louise Santamore is another woman. I have Cindy Penny. I have Josie, as we call her, or Jocelyn Moore.
That's
and I have a young lady out of Mont Tremblant called Virginie Ouellette. So we are a team of, I guess that's 6 of us now, putting on this event. So it's been a lot of hard work. And without these ladies, this would not have been possible, because I started myself and it was really overwhelming. So they've all come on board and dedicated many hours to me and my dream. And it's become their dream, and I'm really grateful.
So what do you think is going to be our most attractive feature there during that week? What do you want to envision happening during?
What do I want? Well, I'll tell you. When I was leaving Crieff, one of the administrators asked me what I had expected to get out of Crieff, and I told her I knew there was going to be about 280 people. And if I walked away with 12 people that I could call friend and keep in touch with, I would feel blessed. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that anybody that comes, hi Louise, will walk away with the same feeling of family, of camaraderie, of warmth, and the will to want to do it all again and keep on living the Outlander life.
Yeah. And so, Louise, how did you become involved with this?
Well, I met Debbie Jo at a tea party, and then she announced that she wanted to have that dream to do a gathering, and voila, that was it. I wasn't.
So you were at a tea party. Did she share her scotch with you?
No, she did not.
No.
Shame on you.
But she will eventually.
I promise all if you come, I will share my scotch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that she will at the gathering, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Debbie, did you tell everybody why you wanted to do the gathering?
I think so.
Okay.
It's a payback. It's a pay it forward, really. I'm blessed, and so I wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah,
I've made.
It looks like we're going to have a really fun gathering there with a lot of great people.
Like, you laugh, you cry, you get emotional. There's always a charity part to the gatherings. In Crieff, they had what they call tombolas, where they have a table and you buy tickets and you pick things, and all the money went to charity. If I'm not mistaken, they hadn't. The weekend raised $38,000.
Nice.
Quebec City had a charity walk.
What was?
We have a charity walk and a whiskey tasting planned. All the proceeds to go to charity. Outlanders are extremely giving people. They have warm hearts. This past April 30th was Sam Hewen's birthday. His fan group, Hewen's Hooligans, I believe raised $21,000 on 4 Dram program, which was you bought a little virtual drink. It's just a meeting of good people.
Now,
and there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, so it's nice to meet a group of nice, kind, warm people.
Now, it sounds like a lot of good work going on there and a lot of money being raised, you say, for charities. Is there a specific charity it goes to, or is it kind of like divvied up between several different charities?
Sam is patron of, it's called Bloodwise. In North America, it's the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And Katrina Balfe is patron of a charity based out of Scotland called World Child Cancer that helps children around the world with palliative care because they don't have things like painkillers and stuff, and yet cancer is rampant around the world. Mm-hmm. Our particular gathering has 2 charities, both of them children-oriented. We adopted World Child Cancer because it's so important, and we asked our guests coming if they had a preference, and Grant asked that it be a Canadian children's charity. So what we picked was Easter Seals because they hold a camp right outside of Perth, actually, for disabled children. And so we knew that the money would stay local and go local. So our 2 charities on the 2 fundraisers are those 2 children's charities.
Very nice.
They're usually, they're very conscious. Sam also happens to be a patron of, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Keone's, Scotland. Mm-hmm. It's male cancer. And, for example, the scarf he wore around his neck on the Tartan Parade, they auctioned that off, and I believe they raised I think it was $22,000 for that charity. So we Outlanders are very generous.
Very cool.
Aren't we, Louise?
That's great. That's awesome that you do that.
Yeah, it's you have to give back, right? We're
Right.
only going around this trip once, so we might as well be nice about it.
Well, it's the whole Ellen be kind to one another thing. It's like in that sense, because it's like, yes, it's also important that to understand that this is for not-for-profit. It's like this isn't going into your pockets. It's not going into anyone's pockets. It is going directly to the charities.
That's correct. This is a self-financed event. We've kept the budget just to pay the expenses. No profit. If there happens to be, if we're lucky enough to have, a few dollars left, it will go into the charity funds. There are the two specific fundraisers, though, that all 100% of the money goes to them. Yeah, this is a not-for-profit organization. We're just a group of fans, right?
Yep.
We're not a business.
No, and there's no need to have to be a business on these kinds of events. It's like, and also the actors are giving their time as well, so they are donating as well.
Actually, no, we had to pay for them.
Yeah, they.
Sorry.
Well, maybe their publicist might turn around and use the opportunity, because it's like using their salaries towards actually giving in towards the charities as well, since they are such noble causes.
We'll have to see. That was one of the biggest expenses. It can be perfectly honest. Yeah. But I mean, this is both, as far as I know, I'm confident I'm factual. This is the first time that Grant or Stephen have come to North America, in particular Canada, on a business trip. I don't believe either one of them have ever been here before. So this is kind of their inaugural promotion.
Interesting. So they're going to find that Canada is kind of like Scotland, only with really strange accents.
Well, that's debatable who's got the strange accent. I have no accent. Come on.
And neither does Lilith. She's Australian, and she's like, I don't have an accent, everybody else does. It's like,
that's right.
Yes. Well, no, you don't have an accent, everybody else does.
I'm hoping they're looking forward to coming here, because we're really looking forward to having them. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I invited them to come on this, Bob, but it's 2:30 in the morning in Scotland, so I imagine they're in bed under the covers.
And that's an excuse not to come on here. I mean, it's like things are just getting started at about 2 a.m. That's when the party really kicks off.
Yeah, no kidding, especially if it had enough drams of the whiskey.
It's like they got a wee, get a wee bit of that there scotch, and it's like, 2 a.m.'s nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll just have to keep them awake all night once they come.
It's like, in other words, you get a little wee bit of the scotch. It's like at 2 a.m. and then about 2:30, this is what you look like.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll I've had the
I scared Louise. She's gone. Come back. I didn't mean it's just a mask.
No, where she lives, she often loses her signal, poor girl, unfortunately. I've had the occasion to sit and have a beer with Grant, and he's a very nice young man. I've met Graham McTavish actually at the Creef gathering. We had a huge surprise in that Rondi Moore, his wife Terry Dresbach, who's the costume designer, And I'm a huge costumer. I love to sew. To meet her was my biggest thrill, more so than the actors, actually. Her whole costume team came. They spent 6 hours with us. They had lunch with us. They had a Q&A in the afternoon. Terry's gang brought all the costumes for us to hands on. Obviously not fondle the costumes, but to have them. They answered all our questions. They were the warmest, nicest people, most down to earth people that I've ever met. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the biggest thing was I went there not expecting it. It was a huge surprise at about 10 o'clock in the morning in this grand ballroom that they were having a market. The doors opened and the light came in and we turned around and there were Ron and Terry and everybody stopped dead in the room and their jaws dropped. And then we all took a collective, oh my God. It was a feeling I've never had. And I'm not easily starstruck, but I have to say they were intimidating until you got to realize that they were just warm, nice people. Yeah. It was wonderful.
Oh, very much is when you're.
Have I convinced you to go to the next one?
Yeah, it's like when you're on set, it's like at first you think, oh my goodness, it's like that they're going to be, and you know what, most sets are extremely, and a lot of actors, it's like they're great in terms of that. You just have to know that they're people. And
yep.
You know, going to the different conventions and thing, I've interviewed a lot of different actors, and talked to them during, on the con floor and off the con floor. And, man, it's like they're all they're just people. I mean, and just friendly. Most everybody I've had dealings with have been friendly. And like you see them off the con floor and you go kind of wave and they'll wave at you. Hey, how you doing? And, it's just always been a good experience, whether they're on the floor or off the floor. It's always been a great experience with the actors that I've been involved with, or, been around, not involved with, but been around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in my personal life, my parents were married for 10 years before they had me, and they were huge jazz fans. And my father was actually a personal friend of Duke Ellington's. And I think it's a little known fact that Duke did not like flying, and he had his baritone saxophonist, Harry Carney, drive him everywhere. And often my father would go and meet them in Montreal or New York or something and take over the driving and bring them up. And so I was around people that were supposedly infamous and they were just like, Harry himself was just like my big brown bear. I know that's not politically correct, but he was just the most warm gentleman I met as a child. And so the intimidation thing isn't there, but there also wasn't that idol thing either.
Yeah.
We Outlanders are a little fanatic, I think.
Well, actually,
but it's a good. My grown children say, Mama, it could be worse. She could be a drunk. so they're okay with me being obsessed on Outlander.
Yeah, it's like, and you know what? It's a healthy addiction.
It is. It is a healthy addiction. Yes, most of it is very easy on the eye.
Also, I wanted to take the time to also thank all the audience who has come to join us so far, and all the ones who will be coming in and also watching, as well as also our stations, iHeartRadio, podcast.com, all the 12 new stations who have picked us up. Thank you very much. We love you, including Blab. Hi, Blab. A shout out to them.
Yes. My first experience. This was fabulous. Thank you very much for having me on here. And I love to talk Outlander.
Cool. Now, this also where we find out, Debbie, how do they get in touch with you for tickets, and how do they get in touch with you if they have more questions? And
well, we have we've tried to have a social media presence everywhere. We do have a web page. It's of course the infamous 3 W's, outlandishca.com. Not case sensitive. We also have a Facebook presence at Outlandish Canada Gathering Perth. And we do have a Twitter account at OC Gathering. Oh, I'm sorry, OC Perth. So you can get in touch with us that way. There is a link for email on the website. And you can email us, or you can message us, or come join us on our Facebook page. And we'd love to have you and tell you more.
And Olaf, how do we get in touch with you?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't stalk too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
Absolutely.
I think your guard cat there will get us.
As you all know, that you can get me on Facebook, Twitter, Bizipedia, LinkedIn, Stage 32, also here on the station, apparently on podcast.com, on iHeartRadio.com, Spreaker, Indie Radio, all of and like I say, if you can't find me, you're not stalking me hard enough. It's like, I'm the elusive, and yes, I stay in shadows. I do not. It's like I am the shadow who lurks in the dark, who hosts the MovieTime show and makes fun of other and does not show her face. And of course, our MovieTime. Yes, we also have now a brand new MovieTime channel on YouTube, as well as also the Grace and Sonata channel on YouTube as well for some of the previous episodes. So we have now gone totally global. Any one of the 12 stations. Thank you also Movie Storm UK and iTunes, who has us there to check us out. And if you hear us, like us, say that you want to hear more about us, and that and we will give you more stuff. Next week we are having another fabulous guest coming up. I am sure that in our schedules we'll be probably talking distribution. And of course, we are going to have our Walking Dead podcast. And Olaf, you have a Walking Dead event coming up too.
Yeah, this Sunday night at 10:30 or 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern will be Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, and we also talk Orphan Black as well, which is also another cool series. It's like, and definitely, it's like with Diana Gabaldon. It's like, I hope that she will come and join us shortly in for another interviewing time as well. It's like, unfortunately, schedule kind of clashed in there, but hopefully next time that she will come and join us. And Debbie Hall, is there a way that that people get in touch with you as well as you, Louise?
I'm not sure they're there.
I believe Louise is gone.
Yes.
And Debbie's in the chat, I guess. Or is that you, Debbie?
Yep. That's Debbie
you,
Hall in the chat.
I think it's Debbie Hill in the chat. Olaf, I have a little bit of trivia for you. What does Walking Dead and Outlander have in common?
Oh, jeez. It just went.
Did I stump you?
It's like
Okay. Well, we'll bring you to the light. Both of them, their music score is written by the same gentleman, Bear McCreary, the Emmy award-winning composer.
See, there you go. Now you're asking technical questions that don't fall under my radar too often. So that's cool.
There, you got one in your pocket.
That's cool.
Yeah, and It is, and also I have to admit that they did pick an incredibly great opening song for the series. It's like that singer, she has got a beautiful Celtic voice.
That actually is Bear McCreary's wife.
Oh,
Very
nice.
cool.
Yes, and this season opens up. We have a lot of French Canadian girls, so they have mentioned this. That there is one chorus in French to go along with the theme of being in Paris.
Nice.
Cool.
I was recently at the premiere, and Bear, along with his musicians and his wife, gave us a concert, opened up the premiere with the new version, including the French chorus. So, yeah, he's a very talented young man that I had the privilege to meet in November at the American Film Market.
Yeah.
So, there's another branch, another interest.
And Showcase also is at the film market, as well as Stars, and they are the people who do host Outlander. So it's like a shout out to Showcase, hey David, and to Stars there as well for their participation within all of these events as well, bringing it to us for life, as well as also it's like who cannot say thank you enough to Diana for creating this fantastic world.
That's right. I agree.
It is like a
Yeah, Showcase is the provider here in Canada, and Stars, I believe, is the one in the United States, along with Amazon Prime in the UK.
yes. And it's like, and what time does it normally premiere in Canada?
In Canada, it's on Sunday evenings at 10 o'clock, actually right after Game of Thrones.
So there you go. You can eat your Thrones and have your Outlander too.
That's right. They don't clash, thank goodness.
Oh, because it would be just really weird if like Jon Snow wound up in Outland, wound up in front of Jaime.
There's a whole thing on Twitter about and Facebook this past couple of days now that Jon Snow has taken a breath, showing a picture of Kit Harington in fur and Sam Heughan in fur. So you see the comparisons are coming.
It's like the clash is coming.
Yes. Yes, they're always teasing Sam that he's going to be the next Scottish James Bond too. So you just never know.
Hey, they're still casting for the new one, I think. So
yeah, he's got a commitment on this. I don't think he's going to be Bond anytime soon.
They can work it out.
You never know. There's hiatus. I know. There's hiatus.
Yeah.
You never know.
You know, it's like tell the Broccoli's to at least consider them.
Oh well, all his fans would flock.
Yeah,
for sure. Whole different genre.
Well, they were looking for a younger Bond look, so that is possible. But anyways, we also wanted to thank Debbie, Louise, and Olaf, and all of you for joining us, and to please join us again next week on MovieTime when we will be talking distribution and following through. And please feel free also to catch up on any of our episodes. That you can catch them up on Spreaker, on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and apparently any of the other 12 channels that catch us. And please continue to podcast us on multiple other channels. And take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.